Milton Berle is known as Mr. Television. Milton's the man of a million jokes. All of them belong to other people. I'm only kidding. This is the man that started it on vaudeville and on TV. My good buddy, Mr. Milton Berle.
Dino, thank you very, very much. Your monologue was never funnier. It's a shame. He's a beautiful man. I gave him a cigarette lighter for his birthday, drank the whole thing down in one gulp. Good evening, Jack Klugman fans and any other minority groups that are watching. Nice to be here for Jack. Nice. Personally, I'd rather spend 2 weeks locked in an attic with Chuck Barris. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to praise Jack Klugman, not to bury him. Of course, the vote was very close. Well, I want to ask some, Jack. How did they ever make you a medical examiner? Fine doctor. One day I saw him spill Vaseline. This is ridiculous. Klugman, a doctor. That does not make sense. Now, Dr. David Rubin. Now, there is a doctor. You all remember him. He wrote that book, Everything You Want to Know About Sex, but he left out the most important thing. Where to get it. Ashes and Johnson. Now, they're legitimate doctors. I remember in their book they said that 67% of women have extramarital relations. That's not good enough for me. I gotta have names. All right, now take another doctor, the great Dr. DeBakey. Now, he says that normal sex is safe after a heart attack. Personally, I think it would be best to wait an hour or two. Connie Stevens, gorgeous. She is no stranger to Vegas. She spent a lot of years here playing in the big hotels. Not in the showrooms, just playing in the hotels. And Tony Randall, who I've known for many years, and may I say, he's never changed, which is a big savings on his laundry. Good luck. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you very much. Mr. Milton Berle. Always great. Always great.
Milton Berle recently authored a new book. It's called Milton Berle, an Autobiography. I must say I read his book from cover to cover. Luckily, I didn't read what's inside. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Television, Milton Berle. Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here tonight to show my love and affection for Lucy. Who knows, the broad might get hot again. This woman, Lucille Ball, has emerged as the sex symbol for men who no longer care. Today, Lucy may have her millions, but her rise to fame was an uphill battle. I know this. When Lucy was just an innocent kid of 19, she always had that frightened look of a new girl at a Sinatra party. Did you know that Lucille Ball used to travel with the Kay Kaiser Band? She wasn't a singer, she just liked to travel with the band. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Lucille Ball has worked hard to get where she is today. She was a chorus girl in a nightclub in Hollywood Boulevard, I think it was the Trocadero, where every night Lucy did the Dance of the Virgins, which she performed from memory.
one of the funniest. I think the funniest guy in show business. I love him, Mr. Milton Berle.
What a night!
Okay?
It's all right.
Look at Dino. He don't know where the hell he is. Happy, smiling, relaxed. He still thinks he's on every week. Oh, keep drinking, keep drinking. I came here for a roast and he's fried. This one's going to a crisp.
Good.
Sammy, you look great. You've taken off height. You look beautiful. I bring you greetings, Sammy, from all of my people, the Italians. What the hell, if he can be Jewish, I can be Italian. And also, in honor of the many blacks on the dais tonight, the hotel didn't put any silverware on the table. I suddenly have a feeling Chamberlain is going to dribble me all the way back to Hollywood. That's all right, Wilt. I didn't come here to talk to a tree. Just a little sap. Sammy, you look okay. Are you comfortable? Are you sitting the way you are? Yeah. You're not, are you? Yeah. Well, I can get you another phone book. It's good to be on the dais with my very good friend, Danny Thomas. Danny Thomas is the only comedian I know who gets written up in Watchtower. I saw Danny at the Dunes the other night. He did 2 performances, one at 8 and a midnight mass. But enough of talking about the biggies. Let's get back to one of the smallies. What'd you do with the sardines? This original model for the Oreo cookie. What a dancer. He danced with his father. He danced with his uncle. Until he was 35, he didn't know what a broad was. Wait, you took your glass. You getting tired, Sammy? Want to take a watermelon break? The reason I say that is because Sammy hasn't been feeling well lately. Last month, he had an operation on his throat, and they had a problem. They had to roll him in flour to find his mouth. He worked hard to get where he's at. At the pinnacle of his profession, he's a pro, he's a fighter, he takes advantage of every opportunity, and all I can say about Sammy Davis is, give him an inch, and he'll be 4'8". Thank you.
Future. When we decided to roast Jackie Gleason, we invited all the great comedians. However, Milton Berle is here tonight because Durwood Kirby fell out. Ladies and gentlemen, my good pal, and I think the best in the world, Mr. Milton Berle.
Dean, you are to comedy what Ernest Borgnine is to tap dancing. He's brilliant, this man. What a mind. He thinks Cicely Tyson is an Italian restaurant. This is the 12th roast I've appeared on this last month. And you know, you do so many of these roasts, you run out of things to say. Like tonight, I feel like Zsa Zsa Gabor's next husband. I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do, but how do you make it interesting? This is really a great array of stars. I understand, by the way, that President Ford was supposed to fly in from Washington on Air Force One, but he couldn't remember the number of the plane. Henry Kissinger was supposed to be here too. They looked all over, but they couldn't find him. He was home. Jackie, incidentally, the June Taylor dances may be here a little later. The last we heard of them, they were on the Santa Ana freeway forming a flower. And in your honor, Jackie, I'm sure it'll be potted. Look at this poor soul. He has more chins than you can find in a Chinese phone book. But you... Pardon me. I got so much gas, I'm being followed by Arabs. Wait a minute. Listen, you can't help it. On this dais, nothing but winos and drunks. I never saw so much drinking in my life. And you know what would be funny? If Dino's the one who drives us all home. Now let me tell you Gleason's daily routine, because I live with him. Every morning he starts off with a pick-me-up. A crane comes and lifts him out of bed. After that, he has breakfast, coffee, and toast. He doesn't like orange juice, so he goes out and squeezes Anita Bryant. And he keeps telling me that that's the way he loses weight. But who wants Gleason to lose weight? Once you've seen a side of beef, it's hard to get used to a slice of ham. After breakfast, Gleason is out on the golf course. And I've played golf with him, and I must admit, Jackie, he's a great golfer, ladies and gentlemen, but at times he has a tendency to hook his shots. I can't understand it because Gleason just isn't built right for a hooker, you know. But when the sun goes down, that's when Gleason, when the sun goes down and the tide goes down. Oh, shut up. When the sun goes down, that's when Gleason really starts to live. He loves to party, loves to booze it up, loves to stay up all night. This man has seen dawn more than Tony Orlando.
Berle has worked in radio, and he has worked in television, nightclubs, the movies, and he even wrote a book. And he's going to keep going until he finds something that people like about it. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my favorite comedians, but what the hell do I know? Mr. Milton Berle.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. How do you like this, huh? You wanna? He's the one that crashed, and he's the one that smashed. Look at this. Look at this laugh. He don't know where the hell he is. Laugh. He thinks this is sex. This man has so much metal in his body, just came up with a new disease, terminal rust. Why are we honoring this doggy bag with bones? Not because he's a daredevil, because he's a brilliant businessman. And I compliment you on that, Mr. Knievel, or Kniver. No, he is a financial wizard. Here's a man who bought Polaroid at 27. and sold it when he was 28. This man, who was born an only twin, was a genius in school. What a brain. To get on the good side of the kids in his class, Evil told him that he had ESP. Unfortunately, he was trying to spell car. I'm kidding. If I've said anything to insult you, believe me. Honoring him because he's brave, he's courageous, he's got guts. Is the only man who told Howard Hughes to get lost, and look what happened. Of course, his last few jumps haven't been too thrilling. I've seen more exciting Nestea plunges. I understand next year he's going to make his most dangerous jump over the entire King family. And two of the gold diggers. And for a big finish, over Tony Orlando's platform shoes. I can see it all now as Evil Knievel. I had my nose fixed, my mouth don't work. I can see it all now as he soars through the air with his St. Christopher medal wearing a neck brace. People are going to look up in wonder and in amazement and scream, "Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a dum-dum."
You'd have to travel pretty far to find a better comic than Mr. Milton Berle, I'll tell you that. But it's worth the trip, ladies and gentlemen, and I really mean that, because he is a dear, dear friend of mine, sitting right over chin, Mr. Milton Berle. Milton Berle!
Thank you, Dean. Thank you. Well, I finally got on. Did McGovern get elected yet? Tonight, I feel like Zsa Zsa Gabor's next husband. I know what I'm supposed to do, but how do you make it interesting? I don't feel much like working anyway because my wife ran away with my best friend, and I miss him. Everything has happened to me since I'm here at the hotel. Coming through, listen, no, this is the truth. Coming through the casino yesterday, a woman walked over me, this is the truth, with a little boy, and she said, "Can I have an autograph for my little boy, Mr. Hope?" I said, "My name's not Bob Hope." She said, "What's the difference? The kid can't read anyway." Danny, with all your money, I don't know why you would want to go back on TV. But I tell you the truth, Danny told me you said it's your life. Danny said to me, "Milton, I'll die on the stage." And I've seen him do it many, many times. You're all probably wondering why I don't have a new show. There's a good reason.
Yeah, your old one.
I must say, for a man who is on his way out, you look marvelous. Not a wrinkle on his face. There's no more room. I can tell you that Danny, truthfully, is in very, very good health. A month ago, he complained of terrible headaches, but the doctor unscrewed his halo, and now he's fine. This man that we are honoring tonight is a perfect physical specimen. Specimen. Wish I could talk like you, Orson. I really could. That Orson, well, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Produces, directs, sings, dances, does magic. How do you do all these things?
Magnificently.
I assure you, mine was better. This man we are honoring tonight was even asked to pose in the nude for one of the girly magazines. Imagine that. What is the world coming to, Dean? Would you take your clothes off for money, would you?
Is that a question or a proposition?
What do you think?
The way I've seen you swing a purse, I'm not sure, baby. Karate.
At least I can still swing. It's always good to see Lucille Ball here at these functions. Her husband, Gary Morton, would like to retire, but since nobody knows what he does, he can't figure out what to retire from. Lucy is a ganger woman to handle. Her first husband, of course you know, was Desi Arnaz, the Cuban drummer, who married her and had a hit show and struck it rich. He went from bongo to bango to bingo. This is a boy from the ghetto, Nipsey Russell. He's a terrific performer. You see him, he was the shark in Jaws. Well, those were Nipsey's teeth.
I know.
I was kidding because...
Hey, you don't have to apologize, Milt. No, don't do that. I'm happy to be here. They have only the most distinguished two, Jimmy Walker and me. That's great.
Oh, you mean the blacks?
Right. We had a contest in the ghetto to see who would represent Harlem on Danny's roast, and we lost.
Oh, yes. Ruth Buzzy. She sounds like a bee in heat. Nobody's perfect. And Ruth is less than others. Oh, by the way, Ruth just came in second in a beauty contest. Don Knotts was first. But Ruth has made peace with herself. She has accepted the fact that her legs don't match Anne Margaret's. A purse doesn't bother me. They don't match Anne Margaret. She'd be very happy if her legs matched each other. Danny is doing so well. Just the other day, he got an offer to tear down his nose and put up a shopping center. And you are very fortunate in your domestic life, too. He has a lovely wife, a great companion, and a romantic companion. And if they ever found out about each other, they'll kick his brains out. You're a good man. I mean, you're a good man, a kind man, a religious man. Do me a favor. Would you do this for me? The next time you talk to God, ask him to get me on the Hollywood Square. Thank you very much.
Here he is, the one and only. Thank goodness, Mr. Milton Berle. Yeah! What a night.
Get a load. Will you get a load of who's on this dais? Did you ever see so many stars auditioning for obscurity? We're all here for one reason tonight. Curiosity. We would like to know how this guy got to be the guest of honor. This man is to comedy what Ernest Borgnine is to tap dancing. It's always good to see Red Buttons, who has been a smash hit on every show but his own. I love you, Red. You got a great delivery. Belongs on a truck. I've always loved Red Buttons, especially on a blue blazer. I was talking to Liz Torrey through her interpreters, and who comes from the capital of Puerto Rico, Manhattan. And there's Johnny Bench, who looks wonderful, looks like an obscene Barbie doll. When he was nervous, bench. When he walked out on this day as tonight, he fainted. You see, he's a catcher, and he's never seen anybody's face before. You're a brilliant teacher. One of the kids asked him, Gabe, what do you think of the abortion bill? And he said, pay it. When I watch your show, Gabe, I can tell what your whole class is going to be when they graduate. Senile. Hey there, pal. Let me give you some advice. I have been performing in show business for a long time, man and boy.
Woman.
And woman, right. But they always call me, I was known as Mr. Tuesday Night. And that's what my wife still calls me. You know why I was called Mr. Tuesday Night?
Yeah, because people would say, what's the Monday night programs? What's the Wednesday night programs?
But Mr. Tuesday Night, right. Gabe, if you really want to make it in show business, you've got to do certain things. Never laugh at another comic's jokes. Remember them, but never laugh. And develop a funny walk. And it's very easy. Put on drip dry shorts while they're still dripping.
Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite comedian and his, Mr. Milton Berle. And I love it.
I'm very, very happy to be here tonight honoring this Oreo cookie. Red Fox, ladies and gentlemen, is not your everyday run-of-the-mill dirty old man. Red Fox is not only a Negro, but he has been for many, many years. Ladies and gentlemen, I say the blacks have it made. Because they can walk home alone at 3 o'clock in the morning.
What about the Jews?
What about the Jews? Just remember, Sloppy, you need the Jews. The blacks got the rhythm, but the Jews own the instrument. But one thing you can say about Red, he does take care of his health. He does. He sits around the pool, sunning himself, trying to get the bottom of his feet to match the rest of him. Look at the people that showed up for you this evening. Orson Welles, one of the great actors of all times, who has done everything. Yes, you've done everything. Thank God you've never been caught at it. But there's something nice that I should talk about our guest of honor, and that is Red Fox. I know him a long time. He's very generous. He gave his ex-wife everything he had. But that's not much at his age. How much time do I have left?
Just keep going until you get a laugh.
I'll remember that.
And you also use it.
In 1951, I must tell you, he started an act with Slappy White and found out one thing: all the slapping in the world will never make you white.